at this time, I want to give just a couple of shout outs. I want to start by bringing up our mayor. Mayor Mike Frost, are you here? You here? Okay. I'm sorry, 10 minutes early? Oh, okay. Thought I was late. So is he not here? Okay, I'll do shout outs first. Okay. So I want to recognize and thank some of the elected officials who have joined us. And if you are here and you're an elected official in the area, raise your hand. Oh, just me. Okay. Joe Mueller, thank you for being here. Okay, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see that far. So, hi Diane. Thanks for being here. Okay, and then also I want to thank our Orange County Parks and our CEO Real Estate for helping us to get this program organized today. Also the Dana Point Harbor Partners. What my goal is to make sure that we answer the more than 100 questions that we received from all of you. Thank you for your input. And I just think it's really important that we give opportunity for Dana Point Harbor Partners to answer questions, for you all to get your questions answered directly. And so that's my goal here today and tonight, to make sure that we have transparency and light on some issues that you feel like you don't know the answers to. I also, Mike Frost is here, okay, great. I also want to make sure that you hear about some of the amenities that are going to be provided through this revitalization project, and you also get clarification on maybe some misinformation. So I want to start by inviting our Mayor of Dana Point, Mike Frost, who has a guest with him. We have the first child with him. And if you could lead us in the pledge. Watch out, there's a little bit of water I spilled here.
Somebody's running a tight ship. You started at 5:20.
I'm sorry, I thought it was me.
No, that's great. And actually, thank you for being down here, creating a mechanism for people to discuss and get their questions answered. Perhaps that hasn't been here for a little bit, but thank you. All right, and everyone will please stand, face the flag.
You want to come over here so you can see the flag?
Okay, sorry about that. All right, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Risk management is worrying that I'm going to slip and fall here. Okay. All right. So to get the evening started, I know you're desperate to get to the Dana Point Harbor Revitalization, but I'm going to give you a quick update on some of the work that we're doing in our office. And so, real quickly, you want to go to the next slide? Before I do that, I want to everybody who's on Team Foley, raise your hand. Okay, those are our team here today. If you have questions, if you want to get their cards, we're here to serve. Okay, so this you all know, we don't need to go through this. This is the new district, this is the old district, and now we have this big, beautiful, fabulous 5th district, 32 miles of coastline. I'm just really privileged to be able to serve. Okay, all right, so here's what we did over the last year when I represented the old district. And we had received for each board office about $12 million in American Rescue Plan funds. And so this is sort of the categories of how we spent our funds in District 5, supporting veterans, supporting housing and homelessness, food insecurity, the arts, businesses. I gave about $375,000 to our local chambers to support business and the economy, supporting our law enforcement, public safety, libraries, community gardens. So I tried to spread it out, making sure that we were investing things that were sustainable over time. And other than maybe the food insecurity grants, most of the investments that I made are for infrastructure and projects that would provide more longevity than just a one-off. Okay, next slide. So here are our 5 priorities for the 5th district. In January, we got together as a team and we listened to everything that we had been hearing over the year prior, during the campaign, during the town halls, the community forums, looking at all of your social media for this area, and really identifying what are the key priorities. Because as a county supervisor with a budget of nearly $9 billion at the county and 18,000 employees, numerous departments, there's so many issues. I could be doing so many things in a very shallow way, but I want to go deep and I want to have an impact. So I'm trying to prioritize my time. So we're going to focus on reducing homelessness, investing in comprehensive health services, long-term housing, especially for veterans. How many veterans do we have here tonight? Thank you, thank you. My brother served 23 years, including a tour in Iraq. And I have two grandfathers that served in the service, so I'm a huge supporter of our veterans. We have a veterans advisory team in my office to help me to serve our veterans better. Investing in sustainable infrastructure. We're here on the coast. You all know about the railroad tracks that are falling into the ocean, the coastal erosion. You know about the water and how we need to protect our ocean. So this is really critical, not just for the environment, but also for our way of life, for our economy, our tourism, and I really am investing in that. Even as it relates to the equestrian community, I've been out getting to know our equestrian community and listening to them and how they're doing more to recycle, taking manure actually, and turning it into compost and helping to protect the environment. And so really great things happening in this district. And we'll keep moving in that regard. Today, the county voted unanimously to support us receiving a grant, upwards of $1 million to work on our county's climate action planning. So excited about that. Revitalizing our middle class, supporting our small businesses. We talked about that. If you're a small business and you are struggling, we're here to serve. We're helping to reduce our permitting process for environmental health permits. How many of you own a restaurant? Anyone? Okay, great. 1, 2. So we have, we're giving refunds for any restaurants that paid their environmental health permits during the pandemic, and so you can contact the county and we'll get you a refund there. There's also a $2,500 grant from SoCal Gas right now. And then supporting public safety. I'm working really closely with our Sheriff's Department. Thank you to our Orange County Sheriff's Department for being here tonight. Attorney and with my colleagues, the fentanyl crisis is real and we must stop it. We must make sure our kids know so we don't have any more kids that die from fentanyl poisoning. And the burglaries that are happening in the community are something that we are really looking into and making sure that we have protections in place, more patrols, etc. I know there's going to be a couple of announcements coming out here in a couple weeks with the good work that our law enforcement community has been doing to protect your residential community. So stay tuned for that. And then finally, just making sure that we're spending our money wisely. That's always what a good county supervisor should do, right? We don't want to waste money, and I'm really about making sure that we have value and that our services are there when we pay outside contracts for the county services. So that's us. Next slide. That's it. Ladera Ranch. We just went in Ladera Ranch, and for anybody here from Ladera Ranch, there's been just a rough week for you all. And so we started our week last week at a town hall in Ladera Ranch, and it was all about e-bike safety. And so I offered to work with our Sheriff's Department, our CHP, there's like a private security, to try to come up with an agreement as it relates to enforcement on the e-bikes, because we're having a lot of e-bike issues. And unfortunately, then there was a stabbing this week in Ladera, and then a terrible incident that occurred at a park. And so if you need help with those services, you can call 988 or 211, and they can connect you if you were at that park, because it's nothing anyone would want to have to go through. So that's kind of where we are. We have some ideas that are coming. Next slide.
our team or part of our team, we're here to serve. You can go to the website. In fact, there's a QR code that is, I think, going around, and we want to make sure that you sign up for our newsletter. We put a lot of valuable content in the newsletter. We'll have a Dana Point Harbor update every week in the newsletter. More to come on that. Okay, now we're going to get to the presentations. So, you can turn that off. So first, I want to introduce Brian Ward with Burnham Ward, and he's going to give us updates on the work that's happened, what's started, and what's planned for the commercial core. Raise your hand, Brian. Okay. Then we have Bob Olson from R.D. Olson, and he'll give us an update on the hotel permitting and the revitalization for the hotel. Finally, we're going to get updates from Joe Uberoth of Bellingham Marina for updates on the new marina. And we also have, and he's en route, not quite here yet. I got to ride in the carpool lane with Alyssa, so we left at the same time. But Matt Miller from our Orange County Real Estate Office, he'll be here shortly. And he will answer questions about the county's involvement in the lease agreement and all those questions that a lot of members of the public presented to us. So, throughout their presentations, I will be asking questions that have been submitted by members of the public. And these guys have been warned that I'm not going to be nice necessarily. I'm going to just ask the questions, the raw, authentic questions that you've asked, because I think it's important that we stay transparent and authentic in this presentation today. And then they'll be giving a presentation. Finally, when you came in, if your question was not asked, then we have note cards. Did everybody get a note card? Raise your hand if you got a note card. Did they get a note card?
They should have.
Okay. No note cards. Okay, we'll get you note cards. Okay. So there are note cards and pens that our team will pass out. And if you have a question that was not already asked or wasn't already answered as part of the presentation, then I encourage you to put the note card into, raise your hand, our team will come by and pick up the note card. And and then we have a little spinning device that we'll use to get the cards so that it doesn't look like I'm cheating or anything. Yes?
Sorry, password.
Oh, okay. Okay, we have a raffle drum, and we'll pull the cards from there. So let's get started. We're going to start with you, Brian. Maybe.